Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me in the second video of the series SSAS training by Fakhruddin Khambati. In the previous video, we talked about why SSAS comes into picture. And in the end of the previous video, I talked about how we are going to begin with creating our own cube, the very first cube, right from the scratch in the next video. Next video being right this one. So I hope you are ready and excited. If you are, let's begin. So here comes my favorite place on my computer, the SQL Server data tools. Now, I am assuming and I'm hoping and I'm praying that this particular tool is installed on your computer. If it is not, please go to Microsoft website and get it downloaded right away. It is required because we have done the SSIS training series in the past. I am assuming that this is installed on your machine. Along with this tool, we also would require SQL Server Management Studio. Now, SQL Server Management Studio is again available on the Microsoft website. And this tool was also required in the SSIS training series that we have done in the past. So I'm again assuming that this is installed on your machine. Now, the basic requirement for you to proceed with SSAS is that you should have some basic knowledge about SQL. You have some idea about ETL, data warehousing concepts, OLTP, OLAP, and all these things we have done in the previous videos. So I'm going to begin right away. Let me give you a small idea about what is happening over here. We are going to create our very first cube, the SSAS cube. And why we have to create a cube is already explained in the previous video, so I'm going to jump right into it. But before that, I'm just giving you an idea about what my database is, what my tables are, and things like that. So I have a database created over here called data warehouse. You see the one that is highlighted. Under this, I have certain tables like country, cost table, product, salesperson, etc. So let me just go ahead and do select top 100,000 rows for from cost table. So it's giving me some 1000 records from this table. It has ID, name, country, product, salesperson, amount, purchase date. Very simple 7 columns. But country, product, salesperson are showing as numbers. It is because these are foreign keys. And the primary keys are present over here in the respective table. Like for country is here, a separate table. For product, there is a different table. Salesperson, there is a different table. So let me show a country. So if a country ID is 1 in my main table, which is the cost table, then that means that it is India. If the country ID is 2, it means USA, and so on. And similarly for products and salesperson, I have different tables represented as foreign keys in my main cust table. So I hope you have a clear understanding about this particular data structure. It's a very basic thing, foreign key, primary key, there are just 4 simple tables. Forget this backup, let me delete it. The very simple 4 tables out here that you have to study, that you have to create. In the first table, you just have to create ID, name, country, product, salesperson, amount, purchase date, and respective 3 other tables that you will create, you will just create it like this. Country will have country ID, country name, product will have product ID, product name, and salesperson will have salesperson ID and salesperson name. If you have any confusion creating these tables and populating data into it, refer to the previous videos. Otherwise, just contact me and I'll help you with it. So once we have the tables created, once we have data populated in our tables, right from there, we can begin creating our first cube. Now for creating the cube, I cannot do it in SSMS. I'll switch to SSDT. and I'll go to File, New, Project. And under business intelligence, I will have analysis services, integration services, reporting services. This is SSAS, this is SSIS, and this is SSRS. I'm going to focus on SSAS, and let's say my first cube. And I'll say create directory for solution. I'll say, just a normal one. I don't want a wizard right now, so I'll just click on OK. And here it goes. So my very first window on the cube. This part over here is Solution Explorer. This is what we have to focus on right now. Now, when you are creating a cube, when you're working in SSAS, you will get these folders all the time. You see my first cube that we have created. Under that, there will be folders like data source views, cubes, dimensions, mining structure, roles, assemblies, miscellaneous. Now, always remember that you will follow a top to down approach while configuring the folders over here. So, when we say top to down approach, which means that we have to first configure data source, then the data source view, then the cube, dimension, and so on. Now, what is a data source? By the name of it, it's very self-explanatory. It is, we have to tell the application, tell our queue, or tell our SSAS project what is going to be the source of your data. That is the data source. So I'll right click and say new data source. I'll say next. I don't want the ones that I have created before. I'll delete them all. I'll show you from scratch. I'll say new. It's asking for server name. What is the server name? I'll go back to my SQL and I'll say connect database engine. I'll take the server name from here. And after the server name, it's going to ask me enter a database name. So remember our database name was cust data warehouse. Uh, Once again, cust data warehouse in SQL. So I've selected it. I'll say test connection succeeded. Okay, okay. Next. And it's going to ask me for impersonation information, and I'm going to select some option over here as per the configuration that I have on my computer. So I am going to enter my credentials over here. I cannot share the credentials, so I'm going to pause the video. So after that, I click on next. After entering my credentials, I click on next. I get a data source name over here. I can give any name over here, my data source name, and I say finish. So my data source is configured. I'll go to data source views. I'll right click over here. I'll say new data source view. Why I'm going to data source view? Why I'm not going to cube directly? Well, because remember top to down approach. So I cannot jump to cube. I have to first configure my data source view. So I'll say right click new data source view. Next, it will ask me what is your data source. So the one that we have just created, it will give me the option. If there are more than one, it will give you that as option as well. It will give you an option to create a new data source from here if you do not want to pick anything that is available in the list. But since I do have it, I just have one. I will just select it and I'll say next. Now it populated the tables which are present in that particular data source. Now remember the tables 1, 2, 3, 4. It populated all those tables: country, cost table, product, salesperson. ANSYS diagrams is a table that I have created. It's not something that I have created, but when you do a relationship of different tables with each other, you will get that particular in a diagram, system diagram, and that will be saved in the system. So ignore this for now, and I will say that I want all the tables, and I will give it a name, my data source view name. Finish. So now we have data source view, and following the top to down approach, I will create the first cube. new cube. Next. Once again, new cube. So it's opening a wizard, it's showing me details over here, and it's selecting creation method, use existing tables. Yes, I want to use existing table. Do I want to create an empty cube? Not in this scenario. Do I want to generate tables in the data source? We will study some, topic in which we will require this particular option, but not right now. So I'll select use existing tables and I'll select next. Now it will ask me to select measure group tables. Now what is a measure? I'm selecting this right now. And it will ask me to select measures. So I'll select whatever it's giving ID amount. I will not select ID, I'll just select amount and cust table count. I'll click on next. Now it will ask me to select new dimension. I'll select products, country, and salesperson as new dimension, and I'll give it my cube name, some cube name over here, my first cube name. But wait, you are confused. You have heard about measure groups and dimensions for the very first time. What I have done in the past 10 seconds, I'm assuming you have no idea about it. So I'm going to cancel it because there is a mismatch in the understanding over here. Now I will help you focus on the measures and dimensions. I'll teach you about what they are. So first, let us see what Google talks about measures and dimensions. So I'm going to do measures versus dimensions. And oh wow, we got a definition right here. And there are so many different links about it. So many. So I'll just go on and teach you measures are numerical values that are mathematical functions. Work on, for example, and you can read it yourself. Why do you need me then? So I'll switch to this paint over here and the SQL. Now look at our table, customer data warehouse table, and it has look at our database, customer data warehouse database. It has four different tables over here. Cust table, products, salesperson, country. Cust table is right in front of you. And over here we have 7 columns. Now, when I want to do the calculation about my sales, the total amount of sales that has happened in a particular country, on what particular column am I going to do the calculation? Will I do the calculation on the name? Will I do the calculation on like country name or country ID? Will I do calculation on product name, product ID? No, the calculation will be on amount. So when I say I want to get the sales of my product in a particular country, it will calculate by the country ID, which is a foreign key in this table, and it will find all the country ID where country ID is 1, and it will do a sum of all the amounts. Similarly, if I want to know the product sale of the like let's say Apple, if I want to know the sales of Apple in a particular country, I will just calculate based on this particular field. As a result, what calculation it would be on? It would be the amount that would be calculated, right? So if you understand the example that I'm giving you right now, you will understand how we will pick a measure table and how we will pick a dimension table. And in the measure table, which field, which column is going to be that particular measure that we would do our calculations on? That is going to be your answer for the measure. So measures is something that you will select based on which you want to do all your calculations. Now you cannot do calculations on country name or country ID. That will always be the dimension. Like you would like to group the data by country name or country ID. You cannot say, give me, just count all the country names. So, in that sense, if you understand this particular example, let me switch to this particular diagram. So in center we have cost table. Because in cost table we have a column called amount. Now all calculations that I'm going to do are based on this particular cost table in the column called amount. That is why it will become my measure table. And everything which I'm going to use on its way to do the calculations for is going to become my dimension. So country over here, country becomes my dimension table, products becomes my dimension table, the salesperson becomes my dimension table, and the cost table becomes my measure table. And under cost table, the amount becomes my measure field. Now, what you're looking at over here right now, that is also called as a star schema. It doesn't look so much like a star, but basically when you have something in the center and there are branches going around it, I'm giving you a very layman kind of a definition, so please pardon me if I sound stupid. So just visually, when you have something in the center and there are branches going around it, it won't actually look like a star, but that is called a star schema. Now, there are two types of schemas that we need to study about: the star schema and the snowflake schema. Now, currently what you're looking at is a star schema. Now, what if my salesperson, my country or my product, my dimension tables over here, what if my dimension table had one more branch? Like a salesperson had one more branch to it. This table had a foreign key in it. Let's say that, manager ID. So I have a manager ID over here, and I would call it manager table. So what if I want the total amount of sales of a particular manager in a particular country? So in that case, my salesperson would directly be linked to my measure table. My this dimension of salesperson would be linked to my measure table, cost table. But in turn, my dimension is linked to another dimension. Getting it? In that case, my dimensions which are further linked to another dimension, that will become a snowflake. So if I remove this, this is a star schema. But if my dimension is further linked to something else, that would become my snowflake. We'll do about it. We will do such example in future as well. So you will get to know about this in detail, but from just a rough overview, understand what a measure table is, what the dimensions are, what snowflake is, what star schema is. So these concepts are very basic concepts when you're working on the cube. So you need to understand. If you did not get it, demand for it, and I will create a separate video for star and snowflake as well if you don't get it from this example. For now, I am assuming and I'm hoping and I'm believing and I'm praying that you understand the difference between measures and dimensions. I'm hoping that you know now how to pick on a measure and how to pick on a dimension. With this hope, I'm switching back to my favorite window, SSDT. So far in SSDT, SQL Server Data Tools, we have created our SSAS project over here, and we have created a data source over here. You remember, right? Just few minutes ago we did it. Then we created a data source view. Then we are about to create a cube now. Why? Because now we understand what is the difference between measures and dimensions. We have a bit of an idea about star schema and snowflake schema, and we are sure how to pick the measure and the dimension entities. So I'm going to click on a new cube. I'll say next. I'll use existing tables. It's asking me to select a measure group over here. So my measure group is country and products and salesperson, right? No, absolutely wrong. My measure is going to be cust table. It's not going to be country, it's not going to be product, it's not going to be salesperson. Why? Because I cannot do any kind of a calculation on them. And I'll click on next. It will ask me to select measures. Now remember, in previous screen we selected a measure group. In the next screen it's giving me option to select measure. Do I want to do any kind of a calculation on an ID? No. But amount, definitely yes. A count of customers, what if I want to find the number of customers in a particular country under a particular salesperson doing a sale of a particular product? Yes, so a count is a possible measure. I can select it. The moment I click on next, it will give me option to select new dimensions. By default, it's going to check on all the dimension tables that I have in my uh, table structure. I will click on next. I'll give a good name over here, my cube, on finish. Now look at this, but I'm going to just make Solution Explorer disappear. I don't need the toolbox right now. I don't need this also. So look at this window. This is the window which is your playground in SSAS. A lot of things that you see, uh, you know, look at these tabs on the top. These are going to be your topics in SSAS. Some of them are simple, some of them are complicated, and a few are really very difficult. So these things are going to be your topics in SSAS, and I'm not going to switch to those tabs right now, just the ones that are required for this particular demo. But we will look at the tabs in the coming videos, so stay tuned. Now, when we create a cube, when we look at the Solution Explorer, you will see I just created this my cube, but the moment I click on OK on creating that cube, the dimensions that I had selected automatically got created over here. When I click on my cube, this is the window. I'm closing it. When I click on dimension and under dimension, I click on a particular dimension, it will show me another window over here. So it has taken product as a dimension, and this particular product ID has been taken from data source view. And as per data source view, which I have over here, in the data source view, when I see product, it also has product name column. It is not just product ID. So when I go back to my dimension, my data source view says that it has product ID, product name, and all other columns that are present in that table. But what attributes from that particular table it has picked for the cube, it has only picked product ID. So right now I'm not going to touch it, but we are going to come to this window very soon. I'm closing the dimension. We are again back to the cube. By default, it's over here in the first tab, cube structure. You will see measures, dimensions mentioned over here, and the data source view in the main window. I'm going to close this as well. So measures, dimensions. Do not get confused because it could be a complicated screen for some. Now, whenever we create a cube, we need to process it. When we process it, it picks the data from the data source like this table, and it will get that data and it will do the calculations when we process the cube. And the cube that after it's processed, the cube that we will get, it will become the pre-processed data, and that is why the output is going to be super fast. So whenever we create a cube, that is not all. We need to process it, and To process it, we click over here. Yes, I want to deploy the project, and it's processing the cube, and it will get me to this particular window. I will say run, and it failed. For some reason, it failed. Let's check. So it's talking about the login information that I have had. Where did I have the login information? I had it over in data source uh, folder. So in data source, I will go to designer, and I will go to impersonalization information, and I will say use credential for of the current user, and I'll say okay, and I'll try to process again. It again had failed. I'll close it. It may need my credentials this time. Um, it may not require this credential every single time for you when you are processing the cube, but it's ask if it's asking, then you have to provide it. So I'm going over here. I'll say view, sorry, in the data source I'll say view designer, impersonation information, and I have to enter my credentials over here, which I'm going to do right away. And I'll say okay, and uh, I'll go back and process my cube again, and hopefully this should run this time. It's processing, yes. If it's taking time, then it's processing. I don't think I have that much of data. It's taking too much time to process, but it got processed. Close, close, and I'll close this window. Now let me bring you back to where we got the error. We got the error at data source. When I selected, when I was attempting to process the cube, it gave me the error related to login info. And that is why I went to data source and I went to view designer. Right click on data source that you created and you go to view designer, and you click on impersonalization information, and you have certain options over here. And that is where, depending on what kind of an account you're using, you have to enter the credentials accordingly. And once the credentials are correct, the cube got processed. And how to view the data in the cube? When we have to view data in SQL, let me switch back to SQL. Let's start from first table. When I switch over here, I just click on execute, and it's executing it. Yeah, it has a huge data. So when I do this execution over here, I just type in select star from cust table, right? What is this select star from cust table? This is SQL, structured query language. But the cube that we are making over here, that is altogether a different thing, a different technology. So it doesn't work on the select star from cust table. No, I'll stop it because the data is lot, it will keep on running. So this cube that I'm going to run now, I want the output from that. It is not something which runs this select star from in the background. It runs something called as MDX. The way we have SQL for running SQL data, for cubes we have something called as MDX. And don't worry, you don't have to write or don't have to learn that particular language unless you're not really going deep into the cube structures. But for the first demo, don't worry about it. I'm not asking you to learn a new language altogether. Just switch directly to the last tab over here called browser. This is a browser, and I'm going to click on auto execute. You will get some options over here. I'll refresh it just to make sure that we have the refreshed cube. And my cube, remember this cube that we have created? It's showing over here. It has measures, it has KPIs, no, it has country, yes. These are the dimensions. Now KPI, remember, look at this KPI over here. We have a KPI tab also. When we create a KPI from this KPI tab, now what is KPI? Why do we need it? Coming videos, forget it right now. Don't get confused. Look at what we have created. This is the dimension that we created, this one and this one, and we created two measures, the amount and the cost table amount. So all that I have to do is drag this amount to the right field, and yeah, that is the total of my amount. So if I do the same in SQL, sum of what amount from cost table, this is exactly the same, but it's not running the SQL in the background. Now, the amount it calculated very quickly in SQL and it gave it to us. But what if I have to group it with the country? But what if I want to group it with the country and the product? What if I want to group it with country, product, and salesperson? Right? That is when it gets complicated. And is this a good data that to look at? We are getting foreign keys over here. Do we want the foreign keys? Does this data make any sense to you? When you're giving a presentation in your office, this does not make any sense because although the data is correct, the country ID 1, product ID 1, salesperson ID 1 has that amount of sales. The data is correct, but it doesn't make any sense to the end user. And that is why dimensions have to be configured correctly. So I'll go back to my products. Remember, I told you we'll come back to this window. I will pick the other attribute product name, which was on data source view, and I'll drag and drop it over here and I'll save it. Yes. I'll go back to country. I'll do the same for country name and I will save it. I'll go back to salesperson. I will exactly do the same and I will save it. And I'm closing it, closing it, closing it, processing once again. I can just process the dimension. Remember, when we are working on the actual project, we don't process the cube when the dimensions are changed. So I'm processing the cube again just for this one because it's a tiny example. And the process succeeded. Close, 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 and I'll reconnect. This is the reconnect button over here. This is refresh button. And let me show you some more important thing. You see the MDX over here. MDX is the language where it's running right now. I will go back to my measure. I'll drag and drop the amount. And this time when I go to country, it's also going to give me country name. I'll drag and drop the country name. So look at how quick it is. The moment I drag and drop, it displays the data. It doesn't take even a fraction of a second. The same thing if I attempt to do it in SQL right now, it will keep on running, executing for minutes. And as we saw in the previous video, if you have not seen the previous video, please see it. Everything will make sense. So this is our very first cube. We created our own data source view, cube, 3 dimensions. Then we also saw how to make sense when we have foreign key over here and we want to actually display the name using the data source view and attribute option over here. So all these things contribute to make a good looking cube right in front of you. But you guys don't trust me. When I say this is running MDX, how will I prove it? To prove it, I am showing you this. It's showing MDX, right? You still don't believe me. I will go to this particular icon. Right now, when I take my cursor over there, it says design mode. I'll click on it. It will give me the MDX query that it is running in the background for my cube. Now, let me show you magic, something exciting. I'll go back to my SSMS. I'll click on connect. So far, you have been connecting to this database engine only. Have you ever noticed other options over here? I mean, I'm sorry if I'm, just underestimating you. You may have, but just in case you're new, there are some other options as well. The second option is analysis services. So I'm connecting to my analysis services here. It's connecting, and the moment I connect it, you see analysis services. Look at the icon. Look at the icon, the difference. So the first one is the database engine that we had created too. It's some kind of a cylinder, and when you click on analysis services, it's some kind of a cube over here. And under that, we have some databases. These are basically, the ones that I had created. My first cube is something that we created just now under that my cube. So yeah, let me do a new query over here. Now look at this window. When we do a new query for a cube, for analysis services cube, it will open, the query window will be different than the normal SQL. Normal SQL window, but this is SSAS query window. And the MDX that runs for the cube, I can copy this MDX and I can paste this MDX over here. MDX is quite a difficult language actually. It's very difficult. So in the background, to give you this data, this good data that you're looking at, it is running so many things. And let us run this. See, it's giving exact data as you were looking in the cube, in the SSDT. So now you understand that background query that is running is not SQL, it is MDX. How many new things you learned from this video? You learned about data source view, cube, dimension. Then you also learned about the different attributes you can add from in the dimension from data source view. You also learned about star schema, snowflake schema, and very important topic measures, dimensions, and finally also I cannot say you learned MDX, but at least you got introduced to the MDX query. And this, if you understand this particular video of SSAS, I know it's not, this one is not a simple one. Start, right from the scratch. When you will practice it, you may face some kind of issues, some kind of errors will come while processing the queue. So I accept, I admit, if you're doing it for the first time, this one is not a simple one. A lot of topics have been covered in this, and for a new person, it is difficult. But please do it step by step. Try to understand the topic. Don't just rush into getting the output. Try to understand the concepts and uh, just do it step by step. And I'm sure you will be able to achieve it because I'm not editing anything. This is a one cut video. So I have not made any kind of a change sitting over here, and that is not shown to you. So this is exactly what I have done. If I can do it, it is a Microsoft technology. It's open to you. You can do it too.
So in the coming up video, we are going to talk about something called as a time series algorithm. And we are also going to look at how the data can be exported into Excel, because the end user is not going to be having the SSDT or SSMS to look at the data. And that is why we will export the data into Excel to make it more readable for the end user. Until then, this is Fakhruddin Khambati saying goodbye and take care.